Today is January 1st, 2026. So happy New Year. It is now the beginning of 2026. It's a new year. New things are happening. So what can you do to make this year a great year for you? I'm going to go over that today in this episode of the 365 podcast. So I hope you enjoy what I got to say. Here are some guidelines as to what you can do so that 2026 could be the best year of your life. So step 1. Today's January 1st. It's the first day of a year. It doesn't mean that you're a completely different person now. You have to first understand that. You're not just going to change everything in your life overnight. That's what New Year's resolution sometimes teaches people. If you look at them the wrong way, you're not going to change who you are overnight. You're still the same person fundamentally. The first step I would say is you have to look at one thing, pick one big thing that you want to change, and start. That is probably the best way to go about New Year's resolutions. Pick one big thing. It could be whatever's weighing on you that you got to go and do, but you haven't yet. Whether it's going to the gym to try and get healthy, starting that business you've been waiting to start, focusing more effort on putting more effort into the job you're already working, putting more effort into your school programs, focusing on creating a diet, eating healthier, sleeping better. Pick one big thing that you know is a problem in your life and start to change it. Start to change that one thing. Focus on that one thing, because the second you start focusing on many different things, you're only increasing the chances that you'll be part of that big statistic where 80 to 90% of people fail their New Year's resolutions by February. So don't be one of those people. Make it as easy as possible for you to make a big change in your life by just focusing on one thing. So obviously I'll give a big example, right? Biggest example that I can relate to is, people going to the gym, right? People buying a membership and then, they lose the motivation and then they quit. You have to just stay focused. Know that motivation will dip. Know that it's good for you in the long run to stick with it. Know that things will be hard at one point and you'll feel tempted to quit. That's what separates the good from the great, or that's what separates the mediocre from the great. When you're tempted to quit, you fall. But you shouldn't. You should understand that these feelings will come. They're natural. Every single person experiences it when making a big change in their life. Your brain's trying to play tricks on you to try and get you back to your old, lazy, dormant state. But you don't want that. You want to be a better person and you want to improve your life and improve how you feel every day. So you're going to stick with the gym. Having these types of feelings, like when the reason why people make New Year's resolutions is because they feel there's something wrong with them. They feel like there is something where they can do better in, and usually it actually is the case. But you have to stick with it through the fire, right? Through those feelings of wanting to quit. But pick one thing. That's my point. That's my first point. Pick one thing. Second point, get past February. If you can make it through 2 months of doing that one thing, whether it's a gym, business, whatever, it then becomes easy. It becomes easy because it becomes second nature. It's now a habit. You've officially developed this new thing into a habit. Let's say you want to go to the gym 3 days a week and you just have been consistently doing it. You will stay doing it. You have pushed through the biggest barrier, the barriers that cause the most people to quit. You've pushed through, so now it becomes easier for you to keep going. So once you get to that point, you make it to March, then you can maybe add a thing or two. Add another thing. You've now, started to be on the path to doing better when it comes to your health, let's say, because I'm still using the example of the gym. Now you want to do something else, right? You want to, fix relationships in your life. Let's say that. Let's say that that's the combination. You want to fix your body, your health, and you want to fix your relationships. You want to get you have a toxic relationship, you want to dump your girlfriend and get a better one, right? And now you can do a better one because you're slowly becoming the type of person that can attract higher quality women, right? So it's making sense. So, then it's just, patching up things that are going on around you with relationships you currently have. If you can't fix it, you're going to have to, leave, right? And then you're going to have to go out there and, go to social situations. Go be more social. Go experience more social environments. That you can start doing. Now you have the gym as the foundation. Make sure that nothing overpowers the gym. Again, it's just an example. It can be absolutely anything that you're dealing with in your life, but I'm just giving it because it's the easiest example that relates to the most people. Make sure the gym is number one because that was your original goal from the beginning, but also allow time because there's 24 hours in the day. Allow time where you can, go be more social, go, talk to more people, meet more people, go on more dates and find, a good woman in your life and fix your relationships that you're currently in. If those are the two goals, then that's good. Then that's what you'll keep, just hacking towards. I think that's what I would say. So step one, make sure you pick one big thing, get to March being consistently dedicated to that one big thing, and then in March, then you can add something else. Then you can add another thing. Don't let it take over and replace the big thing you started with. You have to keep going with that. But you can now add more things because you have now established in yourself that you're going to be consistent. You push through the biggest barriers, the biggest challenge, and the biggest loss of motivation that stops so many people from achieving great things because motivation comes and goes. It's about being the type of person that can stick to something for a long period of time. Another thing you must know what to do, it's a mental reframe. You have to frame it in your mind. If you're constantly thinking about like the overwhelm of, oh, I have to do this for the whole year, I have to do this for the rest of my life, this sucks. You're only increasing the chances you quit. You're making it worse. You're kicking yourself, right? You're kicking yourself right in the foot. You're lighting yourself on fire with those types of sentiments. You cannot be looking too far in the future. You have to first be like, all right, let's get through today. Let's get through this week. Let's get through this month. Let's get to March, right? Let's get past the point of, motivation, right? The point of motivation driving you now, it's actually the discipline, the consistency, the bigger meaning, the bigger drive, the bigger reasons why you're doing whatever you're doing. And understand also that you're not alone. You're not alone in this. So many people are doing it as well. But maybe you end up being alone. You end up feeling lonely. You end up feeling like you're gonna, I don't know, you feel like you're the only one that really wants it. That's okay. But there are other people that want it as much as you. So first you have to prove that you want it by at the minimum getting to March. And then actually as you get to the middle of the year, end of the year, you'll start actually seeing the changes in you. If we go back to the gym example, maybe by June, July, you've lost 30 to 50 pounds and you're actually starting to see that physical change. That's only going to, make you feel more motivated, more driven to keep going, right? And, for the relationship example, maybe you find that person that is way better than the person you were currently with, that things are no longer toxic, you can actually feel better about yourself. That only increases, you wanting to be better for that person. Goes back to the gym example that you will, give you more drive. But you will only be able to find those things later on in the year, right? Because again, another mental reframe. It's not going to be quick and easy. Nothing in life is quick and easy. It's pretty simple. It's even like a biblical thing. Hard things, right? You go through suffering. Suffering is where the answers lie. Like, this is not even like a common conventional wisdom type of thing. This is biblical, godly, God-driven teaching from God, written in the Bible, that says that, like, it's going to be hard. Anything that you want to do to make big change in your life is going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. It might be easy in the first 2 weeks, but that's why so many people quit, because they think it's just going to keep being easy, but it's not. So you have the advantage because you're watching this video, right? You have the advantage because you're watching this and you know that it's not going to be easy. You're going to want to quit. But as I've said, and I said yesterday in yesterday's video, when passion is at its lowest, you have to work harder. That's the secret rule. It's the secret rule. Because if you work harder, you push through, you will get through those negative feelings. And if you're on like a bigger pursuit and you're feeling, passion, no drive, no motivation, but you keep working as hard as you can, and like, maybe a few months down the road, or maybe even like a year down the road, you still don't see any progress, then maybe you can reevaluate if you need to move on with it, right? Or if you're in the gym and you're not seeing progress, maybe you have to also change your diet. Maybe you also have to change other things, change your routine, right? You're going to have to adapt, but it's not going to be easy. There's no one size fit all. There's no get rich quick. It's just not a thing. Anyone that tells you that is just trying to scam you, is just trying to take your money, whatever, right? So you know that it's not going to be easy going into this. You want to make the change, it is up to you to follow through. And you are the only one really that can hold yourself accountable. Like, unless you're lucky and you have great, like, for example, if you want to go to the gym and you have friends that are like super good and, you know, they always go with you to the gym and keep you accountable, keep you in check. You have to be very lucky to have that, because not everyone has that. But if you don't have that, it's really only down to you to keep yourself accountable. And the final point is you have to have a purpose greater than just the basic oh, I want to do better, right? That purpose that will get you to June, that will get you to March first and foremost, then that will get you to the middle of the year, then that will get you to the end of the year, and then you'll be able to go beyond that to do even better, is that deeper purpose. You have to find that somewhere. Find that from, oh, you hate being fat and lazy. There you go. There's your gym example. Then you go to the gym, and that's how you offset that. But you have to be consistent with it, and you actually have to see those results. But that's the bigger purpose that you're putting on yourself. Oh, this is a toxic relationship. Okay, you gotta leave. You gotta focus on doing better yourself and becoming a better man to get a better woman, right? Oh, I'm addicted to alcohol. I'm addicted to drugs, and I'm slowly destroying myself, and I know I'm slowly destroying myself. Well, you're gonna have to go through the pain of rehab. You're gonna have to go through the pain of feeling the want and the clinging to it, but not actually doing it and participating in it to actually make it out of that. I'm trying to think of another example, like, oh yeah, business, right? I want to make money, right? I'm poor. I can barely pay my bills. Those are your higher purposes. And when all else fails, and maybe in my opinion this should be the first thing, you'd be like, God's strength is greater than anything else. With God, when God is with me, who can be against me? That is Romans chapter 8, verse 31. When God is with me, who can be against me? So using God as that higher purpose, higher power to give you extra strength to keep going is also a very good way to do it. But you have to find purpose from somewhere bigger than just it's the New Year's resolution, I want to make some changes. You'll never follow through if you don't have a bigger reason why you're doing something. That's just, again, kind of the unwritten rule. Especially if you're in the point in your life where you are already, stagnating. You're already failing in many ways. You're already lazy. Whatever it may be that you're dealing with, you're not just going to flip the switch overnight. That was kind of what I started the episode with. What New Year's was Wednesday night, and it became Thursday morning. That's it. It's another day. Sure, it's the structure, the symbolic thing that, it's a new year. There's a new number. Whenever you write the date down, it's 2026, not 2025. But really, it's just another day. Like literally breaking it down, it's another day. You're not just going to become a new person overnight. A lot of people maybe seem to think that they will be, but that's not the case. You might become a new person by March because you stuck to something, you proved to yourself that you could stick to something, but overnight you're not going to be. It's going to take time, it's going to take effort, it's not going to be fast and easy, it's going to be long and slow, but that is what you have to go through to reach that level of being a better person, of feeling better, right? If you're fat, it's going to take time for you to lose that weight. But once you do, it'll be absolutely amazing. If you're in a terrible relationship, it'll be very tough to try and get over her, or to try and maybe even try and get rid of her. I don't know how bad things are. But once you find a new, better woman, it'll be even greater, right? If you're trying to start that business and you're not confident, and in the beginning you get no clients, you make no sales, eventually you will start to get money through the door, and then it will be great if it actually makes it as a success. Even if it doesn't succeed, you at least tried, so you prove to yourself you can be consistent with something. That is it's translatable skill into many different aspects of life. If you've proven that you can be consistent with one thing, it makes it much easier for you to wrap your head around being consistent with another thing. So after going through this little bit of a rant, really the main point is you have to have a higher purpose. You have to have a higher reason to do it. But at the end of it all, you will be a better person. You will feel greater, and you will find those successes. So that is probably my guideline. That is my, how to make 2026 a great year for you. One more thing I want to say is that if 2025 sucked, then you have to look back on why it sucked. What was bad in your life and what things could you have controlled, could you have done better that made 2025 suck? Maybe there were certain circumstances that happened to you that, that you couldn't control, right? That it happens to all of us, right? But, understand that in 2026, those things probably won't happen again. And there are things that you can control where you can do better in. So start with one big one, and then slowly make your way to doing more of them so that you can get to the end of the year. You can get to December and you can say, December 2026, and you can say, yeah, things were better. Maybe they weren't perfect because nothing really will ever be, but it was better than what we suffered in 2025. And then for 2027, you can keep doing the same thing. But instead of looking that far ahead right now, let's first look toward these next couple weeks, couple of months, in order to do what you need to do to make it happen, right? To make these big changes happen in your life to truly do better. So that is what I'm saying. New Year's resolutions are not completely useless, but you have to follow through on it. You have to understand these things that I've just said today. You can rewind and restart if you want, because the point is, it's really, majority of it is a mental battle. Majority of it is just reframing it in your mind about how you're actually going to do it, not setting false expectations for yourself, instead setting things that are actually realistic to achieve, and being goal-oriented, but not going so far as to make it overwhelming for yourself, making it actually reasonably achievable. And that's how you're going to stick with it. Focusing on being able to stick with something that you've started because it was a New Year's resolution, it's entirely possible. It is entirely possible, but you have to understand these mental reframes, and you have to understand that it won't be easy and that motivation won't get you through it. It won't be motivation. It will be a higher purpose, a higher drive that will get you through the worst days. There'll be good days, there'll be bad days in the year. That's how it is. That's how it is every day in life. There'll be good and bad. But if you want to truly be, goal-oriented, change, growth mindset, trying to be a better person, it's not just about the New Year's resolutions, but it's a good start. It's a good starting point. So that's why I'm making this video. It's a good starting point for you to truly find, new life in your life, and new drive and new energy. So go out there. I believe in you. I believe in you. Whatever issue you're dealing with, if it was something I mentioned as an example today, or if it is just something else that I'm not even talking about, you know what you're going through. So I believe in you. If you follow these steps, you will make it through it. It's down to your grit. It's down to your mindset, your mentality as an individual, not wanting to give up no matter what, never throwing in the towel, never admitting defeat on this pursuit, and it's you versus you. Understand, win the battle against your mind, win the battle against yourself. New Year's resolution is a great place to start, but it's not the place to end, because again, in life, you're always trying to grow, trying to change, trying to reflect on certain things and make yourself better and improve each and every day. But New Year's is a great way to start, so go out there and do that. For myself, I'm going to talk just maybe for a couple minutes about what my personal plans are for making 2026 good for me. I think for you guys, I've gone through it all. I don't think there's anything else I have to talk about when it comes to New Year's. But for me, what I'm going to be doing in 2026, I have a couple of big things lined up for myself. I'm going to continue my football journey. I said that I wasn't going to quit. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to continue developing my faith in God in the greatest way, and continuing to have this podcast, to continue to make episodes, of course. That doesn't change. But maybe I'm going to try and do better to make higher quality episodes, whatever I can do, maybe get some more guests on. That's probably the basic plan for the show. Continue to glorify God in all that I do. That's going to be a bigger thing. And I actually, I have my own issues, right? I sometimes have problems with emotional self-control. I have to continue to build and to work better in order to to be emotionally self-controlled, to not fall into emotions, not be angry so much, not be prideful so much, not be lustful so much. And then whatever else happens, I'm just kind of going to be here, continue to grind, and continue to let those dominoes fall. Because I'm going to continue to change and adapt and improve through everything. That's my basic plan. But obviously, I might be in a similar position as you, but I might also not be. I might also be in a different position, in a privileged position. Maybe, again, whatever you're dealing with, I sympathize with you, and I pray for you, and I hope it goes well. But hopefully, if you can follow these guidelines, and if you can stick to it, the longer you stick to it, the more chance you're giving yourself to do better. So regardless of, if you're similar to where I am or not, my plan is going to be similar. It's just going to be making change, basic change right now, which I'm going to do. And I'm going to be following these steps myself. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm making a big change right now that I'm going to do and make sure I make it to March. And then I'm going to keep moving. And then for me, it's going to become just always constantly finding things to change and improve on. And it's a process. It won't just happen overnight. And I understand that. That's why I'm sharing my knowledge and my understanding of all these situations with you, because I think it's a good plan. I think it's a good idea to actually keep on going and keep on striving for change. So never stay satisfied. Never run yourself into the ground. Give yourself a little bit of grace. Find that balance, right? Don't run yourself into the ground and destroy yourself. Because again, for example, if going back to the gym example, if you run yourself into the ground, you're probably increasing risk of injury, and you're actually, diminishing your gains, diminishing returns. You're ending up not really making any change to yourself. So make a good plan, rest enough, right? There will be setbacks, there will be issues. Maybe you do get an injury, maybe that hurts things, right? Maybe in business, there's some client that you wanted to sign up and I don't know, they canceled the last second. Maybe that makes a difference, right? There will be things that will probably deter you from the goal, but you can't let it take your mind off of the higher purpose, higher reason why you're doing it. You have to stay emotionally in control, because if you're kind of focused on the day-to-day, you're kind of, high highs and low lows. I'm also guilty of that at times. You'll find that you're increasing the chance that, sure, the highs are great, but then the lows are going to be so low that you're going to want to quit. So make sure there's some sort of an emotional regulation. Like, if don't let great things, appreciate good things, right? Give yourself a little bit of grace, but don't be giddy about it, right? Don't be super overly excited about when a good thing happens, because that's only guaranteeing that when a bad thing happens, you're going to just collapse. So don't let that happen, right? Be a little bit in the middle, right? Instead of going high when good things happen and low when bad things happen, be in the middle, maybe a little bit and a little bit. And then you can manage it. It allows you to be able to manage it on a day-to-day basis. And again, all these strategies, all these things are what's going to make 2026 a great year for you. For me, those are my basic plans. I'm going to be following these steps myself as well. So I'm saying this because it's something I'm doing. So go out there and do it, right? Go out there. Find that thing. Find that one thing that you want to do. Find that one reason why 2025 wasn't so good and the thing that you can control. Find that one thing that's plaguing your mind and go out there and dedicate time to doing it. And understand that things are not going to be easy. They're going to be hard. But at the end of it all, you'll be a much greater person. You'll feel better. Your relationships will be better. Your health will be better. And everything will just be a massive improvement in your life if you're able to stick with it, get past the point where so many people quit. So this is a statistic. You don't want to be a part of the statistic, right? You don't want to be part of it. You do not want to be a part of those 80 to 90% of people that fail their New Year's resolutions. You don't. You want to be the person that makes it through. So it's not just a New Year's resolution. It is a life goal. It is a life goal that you are accepting starting today. You're accepting that you're going to constantly be open to changing, to improving, to finding things where you lack, things where you could do better in, and finding the solutions to your own problems. That is the mindset that we're trying to cultivate, and it all starts with today. It starts today on January 1st, 2026, that you are going to make 2026 a great year. I believe in you. So, if you need some extra advice, some extra intel, some extra things that you can potentially use to do better, subscribe to the channel, follow if you're watching on Spotify, because I'm going to be here, right? 365 podcast, I'm going to be here every single day. Every single day I'm going to have a new lesson, a new thing to talk about. So hopefully it's good content for you and you can continue to improve alongside me. So that is the message of this video. If you want more, join the journey, join the group of people that have already followed and are already watching my stuff, and just continue to be better in yourself each and every day. But 2026 will be a good year. So stay positive, stay confident, continue to grind, and never give up in any single pursuit that you decide to go on this year. Because if you don't give up, if you manage to pursue it, if you manage to make it through, 2026 will truly be the best year of your life.